Jazz's influence on hip-hop is undeniable, and I want to thank Ross for asking me about these connections so we can dive into them. If you're here, you care about community, industry, technology, and what that looks like in education, so let's hop into it. Like most of African-American pop music, jazz began in dark corners, born out of oppression, protest, and survival, and hip-hop has those same origins. This joint position links the two genres and how they're sonically expressed, but for more connection, let's jump into the origins of instrumentation in hip-hop.
Jazz is the mother or father of hip-hop music. They're both musics that were born out of oppression. They're both kind of like protest music, you know, going against the grain. And naturally, if you're a hip-hop producer that wants a lot of melodic stuff happening, you're probably gonna go to jazz first.
See, hip-hop started in the 1970s in Brooklyn, New York, and there weren't many instruments for kids to have in the inner cities, so they made their own, starting with the turntable. Necessity is the mother of invention, and with those turntables, a new musician came into shape, the DJ, and also a new style of musical programming, sampling.
What's great about sampling is that us being part of the hip-hop culture, sampling has served as a conduit to the past.
There's a couple of schools of thought. I would not be here had it not been for a sampler.
Now the formula is this, me, Tip, and Ali. For those who can't count, it goes 1, 2, 3.
You know, one of the wonderful things in jazz records is that there aren't vocals, so then you can take different sections of the record and create those sort of layers.
When the craft grew from DJ to producer, the producer would go looking and searching through vinyls in what we call crate digging. And when they wanted a record with a lot of melodic shape, they usually leaned into jazz music, especially the music of Duke, Coltrane, Miles, Mingus, Monk, and the list goes on. Even MCs picked up on the influences, whether it was Rakim, who played saxophone in high school and said he wanted to approach rhyming like Coltrane did his horn.
I tell that story in the book where John Coltrane said he wanted to be able to come into the middle of a sentence and choose like which direction he would go in from there, which is deep. And so Rakim is playing the saxophone, and he's informed and influenced by somebody like Train, and then he approached that in terms of how he spit his lyrics.
Or maybe we can take those influences to Big, who wrote his cadences like a slow swing on the crash cymbal.
Biggie is a swinger. He swings like a horn player over jazz. B-I-G-P-O, P-P-A, no info for the D-E-A. He put more emphasis on the He's just spelling his name. But the flow, vicious.
You could even take the relationship all the way back to vocal jazz, where Gil Scott-Heron's The Revolution would not be televised.
Continuation of what Hughes and Baraka did, Scott-Heron and the Last Poets used cadence, improvisation, and rhythms of jazz to create poetry that spoke on the Black American experience. However, where Hughes and Baraka performed with full jazz ensembles, Scott-Heron and the Last Poets sometimes performed alongside just conga players, percussion, and nothing else.
You see, jazz have always had its hand in hip-hop culture because they come from the same roots. These are just some of the ways they've intersected over time.